With so much information at the tips of our fingers, is there such a thing as knowing too much? Eventually, all the knowledge acquired results in landing someplace absolutely terrifying. Here are 10 Wikipedia pages you should never visit. The Black Dahlia. In 1947, Elizabeth Short was the victim of one of the most gruesome and brutal murders in Los Angeles. Her body was cut in half, and it remains a cold case to this day, her killer never being found. Her corpse was also drained of its blood, mutilated, and then scrubbed clean. The murder became an overnight sensation in the media, with numerous films being made to cover the murder. The Wikipedia page holds nothing back in describing the murder, and it will make you want to check every corner you walk around. Overtoun Bridge. Located near Dumbarton in West Dumbartonshire, Scotland, the Overtoun Bridge has been the site of the deaths of several dogs. What is even more horrifying and sad is that the dogs leapt to their deaths willingly. They all leapt from the same side, and they were all breeds with long snouts. Not only have dogs died here, but humans as well. In October of 1994, Kevin Moy threw his 2-week-old son over the bridge because he thought the baby was the devil incarnate. Scaphism. Scaphism is an ancient method of execution originating in Persia. It was one of the most gruesome, torturous methods of execution. The victim would be stripped naked and then strapped to 2 boats with the head, arm, legs, and feet protruding over the side. Then the victim would be forced to eat milk and honey, which was also poured all over their body, and then they would be left to float in a stagnant pond. So basically, the victim was killed by a combination of exposure, bee stings, burrowing bugs, gangrene, and septic shock. Rat King. The name Rat King may sound like one thing of the main patriarchy of a rat colony, but it's something far more disgusting. When the tails of rats get tangled and intertwined, they don't try to separate from each other. Instead, they travel together as one disgusting pack. Dating back as early as 1564, rat kings have often been mistaken for mythological creatures. Hopefully, no one else wonders how the Black Plague came about. Alien Hand Syndrome. Have you ever been afraid to lose control over your body? Apparently there's a condition known as alien hand syndrome, where people have lost control over their hand. This results in their hand doing things that the person cannot control. Explanations have included the brain's hemispheres becoming separated instead of together, as well as tumors. But the idea that a part of our body can go rogue is pretty scary. The murder of Junko Furuta. The murder of Junko Furuta is a grim reminder of just how evil humans can be. Junko was abducted by 4 high school students where she was kept captive for 40 days at the home of one of the boys. During that time, she was raped, tortured, beaten, and even forced to call her parents and tell them she would be staying at a friend's house for a while. The parents of one of the boys even knew that this was going on but didn't intervene because they supposedly feared their son. After Junko died, her abductors dumped her body in a drum full of concrete, leaving her corpse to freeze in the hardening rock. Men in Black. It's more than just a series of movies. The Men in Black are based on a real phenomenon that took place in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. These Men in Black were dressed in black suits, and they acted as government agents as they interrogated, threatened, and harassed people who had had UFO encounters. People reported that sometimes they would communicate telepathically. It was believed that the Men in Black were perhaps even aliens themselves. Men in Black sightings still happen to this day. Belme's Faces. Imagine looking at the floor of your house and seeing terrifying faces appearing. In 1971, a family in Belmez, Spain was terrified when a series of different faces started appearing on the concrete floor of their home. The faces would appear and disappear, and it was believed that they might be the spirits of the former owners making their presence known. Despite accusations of it all being a hoax, the faces continue to appear and are kept record of to this day. The Cleveland Torso Murderer. You did not want to live in Cleveland, Ohio in the 1930s, as it was home to an unidentified serial killer who murdered and dismembered at least 12 people. However, recent research has suggested that the murderer may have killed as many as 20 people. He always beheaded and dismembered his victims and even cut the torso in half. His male victims, castrated. Pieces of the victims were found, and Wikipedia even shows the photos of the heads of a few of the killer's victims. The Goat Man. If you're worried about things going bump in the night, then this next page will make you want to shut your curtains. The Goat Man is a hybrid with goat legs, horns, and the body of a human. The origin story of the Goat Man tells the tale of a German scientist who was conducting an experiment on goats, which backfired and caused him to mutate into a half-goat creature. Sightings were dated to the 1950s and 60s, and the Goat Man is apparently responsible for the deaths of several hikers in Oregon and Canada. Well folks, that's our video. Before you run off to go check all of these Wikipedia entries, why don't you leave us a comment below and tell us what you thought. And while you're here, check out these other videos, and please don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe. Thanks!